Welcome back everyone, I'm Craven and this is Cold Steel 3, and as you can see we are back in our fateful train down at our field exercise camp. And before we're gonna do anything, I got suggested to going outside of the train first and see if we can talk to a certain individual there. So let's start off with doing that before talking to anyone here inside. We might take a shower first, because you never know who you're gonna talk to. You want to make sure you look nice and clean, that's for sure. And a second one doesn't hurt either, especially during the heat waves that we are having right now. The door is locked. Oh right, most doors are locked at night. Better safe than sorry, I guess. Okay.
Why are you...
Something like that.
Is there someone outside? These voices don't sound like students. I guess we'll figure that out. Yeah. Alright, there's nobody here. It seemed like there's someone there. Should I check? Go outside and check. Normally, if I weren't given that hint, I would probably check inside first before going outside, because this feels like pushing the main story forward, but we know we have a few other points inside the train that we do need to check out too, so let's go.
That's enough, Claire. Though you have the Chancellor's protection, your actions today are only going to come back to bite you.
You don't understand, Michael. Show
Who's
yourself.
Yeah, they didn't hear the blatant opening of the door, but one little step back was enough to trigger them. Ah, that was careless of me. Forgive me, I didn't mean to overhear. Oh, Rean. Schwarzer, I don't appreciate your eavesdropping. I said my piece, but I advise you to really think this over. Unless you want what happened 10 years ago to shackle you forever. I'm really sorry. It just came out for some air. Well, I got an early morning tomorrow, so I should probably... Rean... Can we... talk? Just for a little while? I want to continue our previous conversation. And we might as well do so in the light of the moon. Of course. You could tell me anything.
Michael, Major Irving, is my cousin.
Ah, so that's why he's so passionate about Claire. And here I thought in my head that maybe he had an eye for her or something. Seems that they're related.
He was born Michael Revelt.
Ah, I see now. You two do seem rather close.
We were, once. But 10 years ago he took his mother's surname and abandoned the name Revelt. It was after I had the man who took my family away executed. That man was my uncle. His father.
What happened?
Perhaps you're familiar with the Revelt Company? They're known for making musical instruments. Well, they were originally located in St. Arc.
Yeah, we saw the home.
My father was the president, and my uncle the vice president. The company was doing well. But more importantly, our family was happy. Until an horrible car accident. There weren't many of them on the roads back then. A stolen truck crashed into us. Then its driver disappeared into the night. In the end, they never found him. It became a cold case. My parents and my little brother died in that accident. But by some miracle, I survived, and my uncle's family took me in. After my father's death, my uncle took control of the company. Though I was grateful to him for taking me in, I couldn't help but ask myself, why was I the only one to survive? Soon after that, while looking through my father's things, I found the account books. Flipping through them, I noticed something strange. The Revolt Company prided itself on offering high-quality, carefully crafted instruments at an affordable price.
Oh, I can already see where this is going.
But certain entries showed unbelievable spikes in profits. I had a feeling something was wrong, so I looked a little deeper. Each account book I read put things in starker relief. At last, I realized what my uncle had been doing right under my father's nose. He was making a fortune selling cheap, mass-produced instruments from abroad under the Revolt Company name.
And asking more money because people believed in the quality of the name of Revolt.
He even had the gall to commission a product he could sell as Maestro class to scam people out of even more money. I knew Father must have noticed his brother's wrongdoing and planned to question him. But before he could, the accident took his life.
Which was an accident but an assassination attempt.
When I confronted my uncle about this, he was surprisingly candid. You've got no proof. And if you did have any, I've got several powerful nobles ready to back me up should it come to that. Even if you talk, the most suspicious part of that accident is that you're the lone survivor. Good luck getting anyone to listen to you. I was angry, yes. But more than that, I was heartbroken. I didn't know what to do with myself. Until he showed up.
I was a friend of your father's in military school. I thought the accident seemed peculiar. Do forgive me for allowing you to suffer for so long on your own.
Somehow, he knew the truth behind the accident. But the fact that I knew took him aback for a moment. Until he said,
You have a gift. Enhanced cognition. It allows you to grasp every detail, great or small, of any given situation in an instant. It must have awakened during the accident. I was going to mete out the murderer's punishment myself, but I've changed my mind. You have the means and the ability. Why not use them to avenge your family?
And with it, tie yourself to Osborne, isn't it?
I was petrified when I heard this. Lost. All I could see were the smiling faces of my parents and my beloved little brother. That's when I decided to take His Excellency's advice. I gathered every last scrap of evidence I could find against my uncle. I laid everything bare. The plot, the motive, the cover-up, the perpetrator. I had too much evidence to be silenced. I made my voice louder and louder until it reached Marquis High-Arm's ears. Soon after, the nobles protecting my uncle stepped aside. My uncle's judgment was swift, harsh, and fair. He was put to death for his actions. I had my revenge. But it came at a price. I lost my family and my hometown. As soon as the company was in my control, I gave the rights to a longtime employee. All so I could enroll in the military academy suggested by His Excellency. All so I could enroll in Thors.
Claire. I finally understand. Both why you hold Chancellor Osborne in such high regard, and why once in a while I see sadness in your eyes. And it seems to me like Major Michael is worried about you. His tone may have been harsh, but it does come from a place of concern. Yeah, I could tell that as well.
You're right. It was sheer coincidence that we both joined the RMP. But he's always looked out for me, both as a superior officer and as a colleague.
Yeah, but maybe he cannot directly say that he cares about you, but he tried to show it in his own way.
Not that I've ever felt like I deserved it. I gave in to my desire for vengeance and mercilessly sent my own uncle to his death. 10 years ago, my aunt and my cousins cursed my name as I robbed them of the man they loved. I imagine they must still hate me for what I did.
You'd be surprised what people might think. Because what he did was deplorable. And to assassinate another family member, unforgivable. So you might be surprised. I don't think so. Not exactly. At the very least, it's clear that Major Michael really cares about you. Everyone who knows you well, even Instructor Sarah, who isn't your biggest fan, respects you too much to hate you. Millennium and Major Lecter, Elise, Princess Alvin, Yuna, the original Class 7, and me, of course. We all hold you in the highest regard.
Rean. You really are too kind. To be perfectly honest, you remind me of my brother.
What was his name?
Emil. His name was Emil. If he were alive, I think he'd be about your age.
Ah.
Thank you for hearing me out.
Well, and thank you for letting Rean be your little brother for a little bit.
But I think tonight is the last time I'll compare you to my brother.
Why? You're feeling a different kind of spark?
It's disrespectful. Both to him and to the man you've become. Good night, Rean. Sweet dreams.
Well, you too. I'm sure she needed that. Am I dreaming? Oh, I'm seeing things. Must have been a mirage, a trick of the moonlight. Ah, come on, it's Claire. There are so many other women that throw them at your feet, Rean. So many opportunities. Alright, shall we see if there's anybody? Nobody's outside, of course. Can we leave? Phew, there's no way I can leave at a time like this. Not even for a quick visit to Raquel? And of course, another bike. Alright, only the door we came in through. Alright, good. Well, I guess our rounds start now. Everyone's sleeping. I have to be sure not to wake them up. Phew, we'll go outside and get some fresh air. That one I will skip for now. Just so we know for sure that there's one more spot there. Ah, Sarah. I'll be back for you. Just need to talk to my big friend of what happened outside. Rean, can't go to sleep. Nah, I just couldn't resist the sight of that gorgeous moon or the calming sound of the waves.
The thing I showed you is called Zector. Sorry, that's the most I'm gonna say on that one.
Hey Velomar, does the name Zector ring any bells? I feel as though I faintly remember that name. Ah, yes. Through only a small fragment, I do remember something. 250 years ago, during the War of the Lions, Zector was the name of the Divine Knight under the 6th Prince's command. Just as I thought. Lucius Arise Anor. He was the pilot of the Palatinate Knight. No, he did not pilot the Knight. The actual Awakener was the leader of a mercenary group hired by the Prince. He was a crafty individual, but he lent the Prince his power. Ah, I see. So there's even a parallel between him and the Jaeger King. But wasn't the Palatinate Knight destroyed by the Vermilion Apocalypse? Correct. As such, it's difficult to say whether the one you saw was the same one or not, but as long as the Black Workshop and the gnomes are involved, we can't rule anything out just yet. Yeah. I wish I at least knew whether they're friends or foes. Just because they're working against Ouroboros doesn't necessarily mean they're on our side. Well, we'll simply need to pay close attention to their actions. If you come across any new facts, be sure to let me know. I may recall more information. Can do. Thanks. Yeah, and with the gnomes involved, there's any possibility that if the Divine Knight was damaged, that they might be able to repair it. It is sad that the enemy of my enemy is my friend, but things are not always so simple. Whatever happens, we must stay vigilant and carefully assess the situation. That indeed we need to do. Right, time for Sarah. Oh, what's the matter? Can't sleep? Well, not exactly. It's just there's so much going on. I need to sort all my thoughts. I know how that is. Hey Rean, how about you have a little drink with me before bed? Sometimes a little room to breathe is all you need to sort yourself out. Here, I'll pour you a bit. This stuff will really kick you in the teeth, so you should probably just dip your tongue in to start out. Whoa, you weren't kidding.
It's spiritus. Liquor from Northumbria. Said to be the strongest drink in the world. Guess it's kind of hard to get much stronger than 96% though, huh?
If I'd taken a normal sip of this, I'd already be on the floor. But the sting on my tongue is turning a little sweet.
Right? I knew you'd be able to appreciate it. Never thought the day'd come when I'd get to talk with you over drinks like this. That new Class 7 of yours? They're a good bunch of kids.
Yeah, they still got a long way to go though. I'm struggling as an instructor too. I just wish I could guide them a little better.
They're all pretty unique kids, just like you guys were. But I know things will work out for you.
It did for her as well. I'm sure she had the same struggles.
I mean, come on. They were all so worried about you, they ran headlong after you.
Well, I'm sure they're a bit of a push for a certain someone though.
You already knew, didn't you? Who those purple Jaegers are.
Well, I had my suspicions. Yeah, what they said brought back some complicated feelings. At first I wasn't sure, but when I saw your reaction, I knew.
That's so. Guess I've still got a ways to go myself in that case.
Back then, during the Northern War, I couldn't do a thing. I spent all my time getting rid of all the archaism that were let loose in the city. All the higher-ups in the Northern Jaegers, the ones who worked with Ouroboros, got away. If I'd captured them, Northumbria's government would have called for a ceasefire. I could have stopped the annexation.
That's a nice little scenario, Rean. But you know it's a load of bull, don't you?
Yeah, because if Osborne got his eyes on something, he's gonna get done.
The annexation of Northumbria was done under the Imperial government's orders. Way I hear it, General Le Guin agreed to take the place over to keep the provincial armies from being disbanded. The outcome was decided from the start.
That's...
In the middle of that farce of a war, you managed to save the lives of tens of thousands of citizens. And the Jaegers you met today? I think they know that. But maybe it was impossible from the start. Fixing a country already being destroyed from within by Jaegers. You probably knew that too.
Who?
Whoopsie. Well, you see, he was... he was my first love.
Really?
Well, actually, he was the closest thing I had to a dad. Way back during the Northumbrian disaster, when the salt pail covered so much of the Principality in a storm of salt, a man took in an orphaned infant. He was a former colonel in the army, and one of the people who founded the Northern Jaegers. As soon as I was old enough to understand anything, I knew that Jaegers who came back with foreign currency were considered heroes. The man who raised me was one of the leaders of the Northern Jaegers, the heroes of our homeland. I looked up to my dad more than anyone. Wanting to be just like him, I joined a juvenile Jaeger corps at the age of 10. After a few years of harsh training, I was admitted to the main corps at the tender age of 13. It was there that I experienced my first real battle. It was hell. A field of death, where lives are tossed aside to satisfy someone else's desires. There I lived, smoke and blood painted across my body. And there I stayed, eventually becoming the Jaeger known as the Purple Lightning. But after a while, it reached a point where I couldn't take it anymore. When I was 18, I was assigned command of a squad. We had a mission near Erebonian, fighting some proxy war on behalf of the nobles. The enemy was Needhog. My squad was destroying them, but just when we thought victory was ours. Our efforts to avoid dragging any civilians into the fight left us open to a counterattack. We got hit hard. And then my dad showed up and saved me. Even though he was serving as the commander for the entire corps, he came to our rescue and suffered a fatal injury for it.
Do you see now? This is the fate of all Jaegers.
To fight. Until you can't no more.
You must think long and hard on whether you wish to continue down this path.
It could have been because he was once part of the Principality's army, but he was quite the gentleman. Now that I think back, he never seemed to like the fact that I became a Jaeger. Anyway, he left me with those final words and passed away in my arms. I screamed and screamed until my voice gave out, until I passed out from utter exhaustion. When I woke up, I was in an Imperial Army camp.
Was that when Instructor Beatrix treated you?
Yeah. Apparently they were there to check on the damage caused by all the Jaegers fighting. Neidhart and Mueller-Vander, who were both second lieutenants back then, were there. They told me the battle had been over for a while, and all my comrades had already packed up and left for home. Hadn't even thanked them before rushing back to my hometown. And what greeted me when I got there were celebrations and congratulations from my friends and the townsfolk. We had lost my father, but we won the war we were hired for. The nobles had given us an enormous pile of Mira. That meant we wouldn't die of starvation during the coming winter. I was relieved, but my tears just wouldn't stop. In order to save my hometown from poverty, I covered myself in the smoke of war and the blood of innocents in foreign lands. Seeing the smiles on the faces of everyone in town and knowing the cost cut me deep. It was right then that I decided to quit being a Jaeger and leave my hometown.
And that's how she became a bracer. Trying to do some good against all she'd done in the wars.
I joined up with the Bracer Guild, knowing I could put my combat skills to work and make some decent Mira if I hit A rank. That way I could send some money back home. Money that wasn't stained with blood.
I finally understand the true origin of your strength and kindness.
I'm not strong or kind.
Well, you're definitely kind. And the strong, maybe not in the way that she thinks it is.
But I think I've finally started to get closer. Little by little. Closer to being like the man I admired so much. My dad. My commander. And my first love.
Sarah. But it makes sense now. No wonder you fall for all the silver foxes.
Yeah? No getting around the fact that I've got myself the daddy of all father complexes. But you know, lately I found myself attracted to some younger guys.
Ooh, both cheeks in one night. Way to go, Rean.
You got me talking too much. You don't watch yourself, you could make a real dangerous womanizer. Oh, and I'll have you know, I don't really appreciate being second after Little Miss Major.
And this is probably the little bit extra that you guys were warning me about.
Well, with that, I bid you good night and sweet dreams.
You too, Sarah. What a day. It's not surprising that my eyes are wide awake, but for some reason my heart feels lighter now. I think I'll be able to sleep well tonight. I better head back to my room. Yeah, there might still be one more stop, but both those stories, intense, but such a great way to learn more about both of them. And yes, the little extra tidbit about her knowing that we went outside with Claire first. Perfect. Alright, let's have a cold shower.
Oh, this is nice.
Alright, let's go to the last door.
I didn't know that happened. Yeah, you and George really saved my bacon that time.
Seem like things are going well. And no wonder, they haven't seen each other for a year and a half.
Is that Rean I sense lurking out there?
No, it's nobody here.
Why don't you come in, silly?
Look like I underestimated you, Angelica. That's my thing. Well, it seems like you've really been sharpening your martial skills, huh, Angelica? Yeah, I went and visited a bunch of different schools that have connections to Taito. I think I've pretty much packed my head full of Kung Fu by now. No wonder. Your movements are so sharp now. You were able to meet with your master again, right? The one who first taught you Taito. Yeah, she's from Calvert, so it's pretty hard to get over there to see her. But I was able to talk with her quite a few things while I was there, so it was a good trip. Oh, well, I don't really understand anything about martial arts, but were you able to finish your cross-continental motorcycle trip? Nah, I haven't been able to hit everywhere just yet. I went around Liberal, Remiferia, Orid, Le Mans, and Eteria. And then from there I was able to make it to the central eastern part of the continent. But Eastern Samaria is kind of a tough nut to crack. Eastern Samaria, I've only heard stories. It seems like the desertification has gotten worse, and there's less and less land where people can live. That's why there's such an influx of immigrants moving into Calvert. Actually, Masaka Fai, my teacher, is there right now. Oh, is that so? Just what I'd expect from the founder of the 8 Leagues One Blade School. I asked the local guild branch out there, and they said it'd take me half a year to get to the Eastbound land. I was worried about what's going on at the home here too, so unfortunately, I had to give up on heading that way. Masaka Fai said something like that in a letter he sent me. The dragon veins are nearly depleted. Those were the words he used. Well, it seemed like they have a lot to deal with over there too. If the Empire wasn't in such a state, I would have loved to go there and help too. I was actually talking about this with George too. It's even possible to use our technology to support Eastern Lemuria and stop the desertification there. Once things are finally settled and done here in the Empire, it might be something for us and all of you guys from Class 7 to look into. Ah, Angie. It does sound like a very noble cause, isn't it? I would love to be able to see that. You truly are something, Angie. But you're right, we've gotten help from a lot of the people from other countries. So someday, we have to make sure we're not just contributing to the Empire, but to the entire continent of Zemuria. Now you're getting it? You gotta dream big. After that, Rean, Toe and Angelica all reminiscent about their school days together. Once they had finished their trip down memory lane, Rean bid them goodnight and left the room. I had a lot of fun talking with everyone again. It's been so long since we could hang out like that. Yeah. I should head back and get some rest. We should. And another day. New
This is
missions.
truly an honor.
Ooh, rank up. Increase to rank C.
Here, a reward.
The Hades gem.
Keep it up.
Oh, I'll try my best. Monk's thank you gift arrived safely. A bent sticker. You material. Bent sticker. You material. Rosine sent an updated copy of the Black Records. Black Records 3 deciphered. Vivi thank you gift has arrived safely. A photo of Shan Shan. A brave soul photo of Becky. And spirit droplets. And a photo of Ferris. And magical droplets. Oh yes, definitely have a quick save. 18th. Sunday. Field exercise. Day 2. Everybody busy doing their morning routines. Rean being a bit groggy because he made it way too late last night hanging out with 2 special ladies. I do hope I see them again sometime. The next morning, Sarah, Angelica and Clara left the camp. Angelica went to orders for the Provincial Council and Major Claire returned to Heimdall. Sarah, meanwhile, made for Raquel to continue her search for the Jaegers. And... What? Are you telling me that the range for today's missions is the entire area we went around yesterday? Yeah, I received a request for our second day from Brigadier General Wallace. They know what's going on with the Jaegers, so there's no need for us to investigate that any further. So let's check out our request and do our patrols. Understood. Well, the tasks on the second day have usually been fairly exhausting. But it's nice that this time appears to be more normal. Yeah, for real. First our camp gets ambushed, then the tower gets attacked. Well, we certainly won't be able to let our guard down this time either. Let's make the most out of this lull and knock out as many of these requests as we can. We can use the bikes to get around, so we should have plenty of time. Very well. Oh, let's see what request we have this time. Ooh, semi-required. Interesting. Does it mean that if we do 1 or 2, then the main quest will pop up and then we can decide whether to do the rest or not? A Tale of Two Shops. There's a matter which I would ask the Thors Branch Campus to provide assistance with discreetly. With Ferris, of course. Raising Bardias, fancy mock battle with some of our recruits in the Unified Region Army. They could use the experience against guys like you. If you're willing to help, speak to one of the guards out front of the Naval Fortress. Aberration Abolition. We've been getting reports of a giant monster suddenly appearing and vanishing. The Unified Region Army requests you to survey the scene of its latest sighting, track it down and kill it. It was last seen at Nordlank Duck. Canyon Road. This one seems kind of weird. A gigantic monster that appears and vanishes suddenly. Could it be? It reminds me of the cryptid we encountered in Crossbell. Yeah, let's check it out if we have the time. It's near the valley. Maybe we should contact Sarah. This other one is a training request from Luna Naval Base. Well, it would appear we'll be practicing against provincial army soldiers. Sound like my idea of a good time? They're supposed to be pretty good, yeah? Well, I guess we can ask them yesterday while we're there, so I'm fine with that. Look like all our options make it difficult to decide where to go first. Yeah, but there's no rush, so take your time. Alright, with that, Day 2 of our Special Ops mission has officially begun. Yeah! Well, I already know where I want to go. Back to orders. Requests for the second day of field exercise are all semi-required requests. You will be able to progress the story once you have completed at least 2 of these requests. Yeah, but we're gonna do all of them. You know it, I know it, we all know it. Well, it is the next morning, so you know what that means. That means we have to do a round here before we're getting out there to go to another location. And like I already said, my first one will be Orders, where we're gonna help Ferris dealing with her situation. The main reason I want to go there is because of the Klaus Company store. I have some money to exchange and I'm getting the best rate there, so definitely really want to go there. And I have accumulated enough money that I can buy some of the more powerful accessories, and I want to go start doing stuff with that, because I want to see if I can empower Ash at least, and maybe a few others as well. So plenty of things to do. So let's talk to a few people before we round off this episode. Things are quiet for now, but that doesn't mean we can start letting our guards down. So Military Finance will continue to keep an eye out for the Jaeger Corps and support combat tactics. No matter what today is in store for us, we'll give it our all. Military Finance will continue to keep an eye out for the Jaeger Corps and provide combat tactics support we can. No matter what today is in store for us, we give it our all. The comm network we set up yesterday seems to be working well so far. What a relief. For now at least. Oh, we're so grateful for all your hard work. Today's the final day of the Imperial Provincial Council. I hope there aren't any issues. Oh, let's just do our best for now. If something happens, we're counting on you. Leave it to me. And Juna is so energetic today. I'm not a morning person, but I need to brace myself and work hard. Well, I'm not a morning person either, so oh no, the troubles. Those first few hours when you get out of bed. Yeah, and then seeing somebody next to you that is 10 times as energetic. One part of you is jealous and the other part is just annoyed by someone that energetic, and I don't know why. Because mostly after an hour and I had my first coffee, I'm perfectly fine. Could be the reason why so many of the people just come in an hour later than me. Maybe. There are so many Jaeger Corps here at once. What's going to happen now? We need to keep a close eye on them. We need to keep a close eye on the Jaeger Corps. That we definitely need to do. No, the Imperial Provincial Council is starting soon. I won't be able to attend because I come from a parent house, but I'm still pretty curious about it. I wonder how things will end up this year. Me too. Could be interesting. Ooh, potential side quest. Didn't think it's gone this bad. Leonora? What's wrong? That was a pretty hefty sigh. Is there a problem with someone you know? Yeah, actually, an old comrade of mine from the same escort fleet. He's 7 years older than me and was part of our special attack force. His name's Herman. Oh, the escort fleet special attack force. Yeah, in terms of his fighting skills, he was always a notch above everyone else in the group. Apparently he's doing some security work somewhere now. What about him? Well, the way I hear it, he's got himself involved in some pretty shady stuff recently. Seems like what he's doing is pretty much extortion. Hearing that makes me mad, embarrassed and frustrated. So you're saying that guy wasn't like this before? Yeah, he was always quick to fight, but as far as I know, he wasn't the type of guy to start getting into such an underhanded stuff. So I went to ask him about it to his face yesterday. He told me he'd decided that he was done being the one taken from, and that he was going to be the taking from now on. Oh, so people used him, now he wants to use them instead? Well, our Silver Whale fleet was broken up by the government after the Civil War, but I thought that even if we all got scared, our pride would last forever. That's why I'm so completely disappointed with that guy, from the bottom of my heart. Leonora. One of Leonora's comrades from her days with the escort fleet. Based on what she said, it doesn't seem like he's a bad guy. I wonder if there's a way to get Leonora's feeling across to him. Brian to the fleet started. Our Silver Whale fleet was broken up by the government after the Civil War, but I thought that even if we all get scattered, our pride will last forever. That's why I'm so completely disappointed with the guy, from the bottom of my heart. Yeah. Well, we can definitely try and do something about it. Will we be able to do something about it? Maybe not, but doesn't hurt to try. Alright, let's talk to Velimar, and then we can call it for the day. I suppose the situation remains the same for the time being. My hope is that nothing serious will happen. However, none of you should let your guards down, Rean. All the children of Class 7. Yeah, understood. Oh, thank you for your concern. My hope is that nothing serious will happen. Yeah, we'll be careful. But at the end of every chapter, there's always some big stuff going to happen. And even though they're saying nothing will this time, because it all seems quiet and nothing insane is happening, there is something gonna happen, we just don't know what. And whatever it is, we'll deal with it. But for now, I wish you all a great night, morning, day, wherever you are. And if you're still here, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and be back next time. Until then, bye bye.